right, hello everybody, and welcome to the podcast. My name is Kevin Donovan, and with me is Bryce Ominski. Bryce, how you doing?
Good morning, Kevin. What an interesting week we're having, or I say a few weeks. Great to be here. I think we're gonna go into really two main stories today and talk about a few things. But let's start off with one of the things we were talking about before here. Woolly mammoths are now they're going to be actually reverse engineering a woolly mammoth they're going to have this thing out of a big heifer, I guess, or something, and not sure of the details. I think they're actually fundraising right now. I can't remember the exact dollar amount. Was it
$10.2 billion valuation.
it was billion. I was going to say million. And
B.
I'm as we go into this, I remember back when I was in the Microsoft days, there was a little lab that was at Microsoft that was doing work on programming, like genetics, and doing things like with bacteria and basic, single cell programming, right? So you could build a bacteria that you could now throw into, say, a poisonous environment and it would turn red to warn people, for instance, because you programmed it. Kind of very simple state machine kind of programming. And now we're actually looking at really resequencing the genetics from a cow based on what they found. I think this is absolutely incredible and that people are investing in it.
Yeah, I mean, funny that you chose from the palette, to lead with the woolly mammoth. I think, it certainly shows like a intersection of like ambition and speculation to be investing in this, and reviving extinct species, a whole Jurassic Park kind of approach, certainly captures people's imagination. I think a lot of scientists see it as kind of distraction, maybe that this isn't going to happen. But yeah, certainly amazing that they're moving from, very basic multicellular organisms to an entire, a woolly mammoth. But yeah, I can't help but thinking that probably the best thing that's going to come out of this is what they learn along the way. Different, technologies for conservation and biodiversity and ecosystem restoration, and I don't know,
Well,
that sort of thing.
I think you're bang on with that, Kevin. It's when you have one technology like computer science move ahead, and you start to introduce things like AI. Now you can start to do things with genetics that we've never even dreamed of, right? And I think these technologies are all convergent. We're going to see a rapid growth. I mean, people like, Ray Kurzweil and these people have talked about this singularity, and change is starting to really happen. I mean, really fast. And I mean, this will probably come up again as a theme. But I mean, before, like let's even take what legacy meant. Like before, 10 years was kind of the time when something to go legacy, or 5 years, and you had to refresh your computer systems. Now with technology, what is legacy? Is that 6 months? Is it a year? Is it 2 years tops? Uh,
Yeah.
and on top of that, we're seeing the market. I mean, this is the other big story: is the AI market, despite everything, is exploding. So in the last week or so, last couple of weeks, we've seen a market. I'll call it a slight market correction, about 10%. And this was mainly driven by, I think, Biden policy from the U.S. on restricting, AI chip sales to certain countries. So stop it to China, restrict it to the United Arab Emirates and countries like this. And this caused, I think, an immediate, reaction. At the same time, we had NVIDIA, announce that they were releasing new products, diversifying their product line. And now we're seeing this sort of come back. I don't know, Kevin, but I'm going to guess. What's your thought on this? Is AI dead?
Well, I think the numbers from PitchBook for 2024, they were talking about 200 and change billion in VC money poured into tech stocks. Almost half of that, I think 97 billion, went into AI startups. So, I mean, it's not just like commanding capital, it's reshaping the entire investment ecosystem. It's, and it's maturing a bit, which is interesting to see too. there are companies out there that actually have revenue. And they're getting, smarter niche solutions that, are doing meaningful work actually in corners of the market. So I think we're seeing a, maturing AI sector, and startups are tackling, challenges from healthcare to education to logistics, that sort of thing. It's not just the battle of the large scale foundational model, there's starting to become some very real world applications, and there will become more and more real world revenue numbers coming in. And that's going to make it, an interesting market, interesting growth here.
I think so. And I think that, you look at a company like, and we've talked about this before, NVIDIA, they've released other areas that they're moving into outside of pure AI. And they're actually also on the AI front. I mean, they've got a new product coming out. I think it's called Cosmos, which is really their own large language model. And they're also, of interest to me, very, very interested in, is NVIDIA releasing microservices to safeguard their AI agents. So they're looking at integration with intelligence in mind. And this is going to change. Well, the entire landscape is changing, right? If we go forward. And I guess the final point, Kevin, is that the market's almost recovered. Like, about a week ago, NVIDIA, with this correction, dived down to, $130 a share. It's back up to, I think, almost 138 today, 136, somewhere around there. And I think 137, actually, just looking at it right now. And it's bouncing back pretty quickly, as are the other tech stocks. But I don't think this bull run is over yet.
No, well, is the bull run over? I don't know, but certainly the AI run is far from over, almost just begun. Mark Andreessen's software is eating the world. AI is eating certainly the venture capital world, and NVIDIA wants to take on the entire world.
Yes.
It's amazing, extremely expansive line of products and services. They're looking to kind of own the almost end to end with AI ubiquity, democratizing models and agentic AI kind of advancements. They want to redefine gaming, computing, everything.
Yeah, when you look at it too, the whole idea of what a chip has really changed too. Like, you have chips that are the size of my car now coming out almost, right? Component GPUs that are that big that actually support the LLMs, right? I think they're gas guzzlers for power, but I think we're coming into a new world. And you're absolutely right, in that NVIDIA is not only taking over the world, but they've got a plan to do it. And they've got the resources, hundreds, thousands, a lot more AI agents working per employee. I mean, this is going to unleash a wave of change, I think, that is going to ripple out right across the world from AI, and it's going to affect everybody. And, I think we're going to have challenges connecting things going forward. Putting it all together is going to be a challenge in this changing world. And you're right, we're seeing actual, ground being taken right now.
Yeah, they are certainly looking to rewrite the rule book, it seems. You've mentioned a couple of times integration and how does all this fit in, and especially us as architects, we tend to think in boxes and arrows and systems of record and systems of engagement and systems of, used to be orchestration, now it's intelligence. All those things need integration. It reminded me that ICE is actually coming out with, and I believe you are working on
yes.
A new it's a whole new course. Are you redoing, specializing?
Great question. So the integration field right now is changing. So we have an old course that we're revising. There's still foundational aspects to integration that we need to talk about if somebody's being introduced. But I think there's two major trends that this course is really going to address. The first one is intelligent systems. And, we're having people like Satya Nadella, they've talked about SaaS, and now large language models become the business layer. How does that change the way we handle integration. And this is, we're already seeing stuff from NVIDIA, for instance, the microservices that are specifically designed to safeguard the security of AI systems that we're integrating with. And the other part to this is the rate of change is happening so quickly right now that legacy, like integration is a big part of legacy upgrades. But here's the kicker, when I'd say if you go back 30 years, you would wait 5 to 10 years, to upgrade your hardware to come in the next generation for change to happen. Well, that's shrinking.
Hardware or software, you mean, right? I mean, applications as well, really.
Everything, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And to your point, that's one of the big changes too, even to the integration landscape, is everything has become dependent on language. So there's no hardware, you don't need appliances, it's all coding. We have, infrastructure as code has come out. We have, integration now has to deal with two big things. Daily legacy, your systems of record, your systems of engagement are going to be legacy systems. And but they're also going to have a certain level of intelligence as we go forward, how to deal with that and how to future-proof, I think is a big topic that's open right now. And what we're looking forward to, of course, this integration course will cover those topics, but it was also built, we started working on this course, I think as early as 2020, where we talked with some very major companies about what they were doing that was successful in integration. Yeah. And at that time, we came up against challenges like semantic matches, right? Like, is the format that you have your address in the same that I need over there? Something as simple as that. No. With health records, records, these mismatches are killer to sharing patient records. Yes. And a huge killer. So there's, one area where I think we've made a great stride using, ontologies and integration with companies like Palantir doing that just on a regular basis now. I'm going to stop there, but I'm really excited about the course. I could take over the whole time talking about it. I'm looking forward to it. And if anybody's interested, please message me. Our first course is going to be the inaugural advanced course is slated to begin in March. So I would encourage anybody interested to sign up and reach out to me, and I can get them details and share. And we can even talk about the syllabus in more detail in another CAF news if you're up to that, Kevin. Yeah, sure. Why don't you shoot me something and, when it's a little more baked and you guys are ready, and let's take a slightly deeper dive. I think it's really interesting, integration and tips and techniques and how do you do it, just in general, but then of course in specific around, transformation, modernization, legacy, and then your point that, what is legacy is becoming shorter and shorter and shorter time frames. I don't remember who said it, but I always like the quote, technology has the shelf life of a banana. And that's I think good. I first heard it 8 or 10 years ago, and then it was funny, but now it's actually closer to true. Well, absolutely. I mean, it started with Moore's Law and this idea of technology doubling, in terms of chip placement every so many years, but it's not limited to Moore's Law anymore, right? It's this march, and we're talking about this. I think that's why everything we're talking about, the investment is looking that way. The woolly mammoths are looking that way. It's we're headed in one direction, and it's pretty exciting, I think, to be a tech in this time. Yeah, super interesting. Yeah, fun ride. Kevin, awesome session. Yeah, great. Until next week. Great talking to you as usual. See you later, everyone. Cheers. Thanks for watching.